Alright, in the spirit of the festive season, I'm sure so many business owners are doing everything possible to make their brands the best. Please let us try as much as possible to make our brands the best as possible. On that note, I welcome us on the brands and industry segment of the Daybreak Show. My name is Damilola Aroyeun. Apple has confirmed the suspicions of many iPhone owners by revealing it does deliberately slow down some models of iPhone as they age. Many customers have long suspected that Apple slows down older iPhones to encourage people to upgrade. The company has now said it does slow down some models as they age, but only because the phone's battery performance diminishes over time. Apple said it wanted to prolong the life of customers' devices. Lithium batteries degrade over time because of what happens during the charging and discharging cycle. Studies using electron microscopes have shown that each time the IONS does this, they make tiny changes to the physical structure of that electrolyte. The effect is like rusting creeping unevenly across steel, according to one scientist who has studied the phenomenon. The changes effectively erode the material so it can hold less of a charge and can hamper its ability to provide a steady power supply. Dangote says its refinery currently under construction in Lekki axis of Lagos will save Nigeria $12 billion annual import substitution, create 4,000 direct jobs and crash prices of petroleum products. The technical consultant to Alhaji Dangote, Mr. Babajide Shiode made this known during an oversight visit of members of the House of Representatives Committee on Local Content to Dangote Refinery and Petrochemicals in Lekki Free Trade Zone in Ibeju Lekki in Lagos. It explains that the project will add value to the economy as it would also create 145,000 indirect jobs. The refinery, according to him, will have the capacity to refine 650,000 barrels of crude oil per day, while the petrochemical plant will produce 780 kTPA polypropylene, 500 kTPA of polyethylene. In addition, Shirley says the fertilizer project will produce 3.0 million metric tons per annum of urea. Lauded the lawmakers for supporting indigenous companies, Shiode said that Dangote was committed to local content development. Shiode also says the company will build the largest subsea pipeline infrastructure in any country in the world with a length of 1,100 kilometers to handle 3 billion standard cubic feet of gas per day. Zenith Bank, one of Africa's foremost banks, has opened a new head office in Accra, Ghana. Located at Ridge, Accra, the new Zenith Bank head office is expected to be used for the bank's expansion of businesses in Ghana. President Nana Akufo-Addo of Ghana, unveiling the office, appreciates the contributions of Zenith Bank to the deepening of the financial intermediation and the development of Ghanaian financial services sector. President Akufo-Addo says the continent needs institutions like Zenith Bank to bring about a united West Africa and Africa that will engender future prosperity of its people and the entire continent. He equally commends the bank for paying attention to another important aspect of Ghana's development, which is education of young people, through $2 million educational support. Speaking, the founder and group chairman of Zenith Bank, Jim Ovia, explains that the decision by the leadership of the bank to invest in Ghana is well thought through, considering that the country is an emerging economic superpower in the sub-region and a very viable and viral entity. Regal Dry Gin, a premium gin brand from the stable of Grand Oak Limited, has showcased its brand at the 2017 Advertisers Association of Nigeria Advan Awards for Marketing Excellence, West Africa, held in Lagos. Grand Oak Limited was one of the key sponsors of the event, and the partnership offered consumers the opportunity to enjoy Regal Dry Gin at the event. Regal Dry Gin cocktails were served at the event and branded gift items were given to attendees. Speaking on the partnership with Advan, the brand manager, Regal Dry Gin, Mr. Deni Babatunde, says he regards the event as a coming together of two great brands, Grand Oak represented by Regal Dry Gin and Advan. He explains that the company has also concluded plans to roll out consumer engagement program across the length and breadth of the country in a few weeks' time. According to Hardban, over 80 entries were received from organizations and individuals for the 2017 awards in 13 categories, with double the entries received for the 2016 edition. The award was a grand occasion for winners who emerged in Brand of the Year, Campaign of the Year, Digital and Social Media Marketing categories, among others. Truecaller says 6.2 million out of the 150 million phone subscribers in Nigeria are on its network. The company's chief commercial officer, Mr. Ted Nelson, made it known to newsmen on the sidelines of the launch of its developer program in Lagos. In Africa, he says that Truecaller have 50 million registered users, and this is about 20% of total global Truecaller's users. Nelson explains that Truecaller is amongst the top 5 most downloaded apps on Google Play and Apple Play stores in the past 2 years. As the market is growing, Nelson says the company intends to leverage on smartphone penetration increase to become stronger. The developer program, Truecaller SDK, is a mobile identity product for digital startups and app developers, enabling third-party app developers, digital businesses, and startups. The Truecaller app allows people to see who is calling and filter out spam. That's it on the brand and industry segment of the Jaybreak Show. My name is Damilola Aroyeun. Good morning and thank you for listening.